Hi, my name is Megan Sidmore, and today I'm going to be reviewing my bike. So, in case you couldn't already tell from the title of this video, this is a 2021 Trek FX1 Stagger. It's in size small. I bought it this summer, June 2020. This bike I bought for $450 base price, plus $28 in tax, for a total of about $478. And to get to the point, this was a very worthy investment. In my opinion, it is great for beginners. I bought it without having any, prior biking experience. Obviously, I knew how to ride a bike and all that jazz, but I'd never really gone longer distances or been super into biking. And in my opinion, this was a great place to start. For starters, what you get for the price in my opinion, it's really nice. It's not that $1,500 bike that is super light, made of carbon fiber, and has all the bells and whistles. It's a starter bike for when you want to get into road biking. So I'm going to tell you a few things that I like about this bike. So for starters, I really like the tires. It is a hybrid bike, which means, it's got the thinner tires, but the handlebars are flat, so you're not like hunched over like a road bike. And I really like the tires because they're thin and they make riding a lot smoother and easier, and you can go faster if you want. I previously had this very old, it was probably bought from Walmart or something. It was an old bike with the wider tires, and it was kind of clunky and all that. And so switching from that to these tires was like a whole new world, and I loved it. Building off that, this is a hybrid bike. So like I said, you get your flat handlebars. And then if we move over here, the seat was also great. When you look at it, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that comfortable, but turns out it is. I went on 40-mile rides at one point on this seat, and I was fine. The shifting on this bike is also really smooth. I have no other reference point besides the old clunky Walmart bike. So, for me, switching from that to this was like night and day. Oh yes, and the brakes. The brakes are actually pretty good. They are not disc brakes on this bike. This is pretty much the entry-level hybrid bike that Trek offers. So there is an option to get disc brakes, but I find that these ones work just fine. I can stop. My old bike, I couldn't stop. So, this is really great for what I need. Another big selling point for this bike is that it has the Stagger Frame, which a lot of people want because this bike is really easy to get on and off of. I can swing my leg through there to get on or off. I don't have to worry about hitting the bar that usually comes across here. But the one thing that I don't like about the Stagger Frame is where you would put the water bottle. This can be easily solved by just buying a side-loading water bottle mount, but because this frame is so low, it makes it a little awkward to get to your water bottle. That's the only problem I have with it. Other than that, I love that it's a Stagger frame. So building off of that, things that I don't really love about this bike. First and biggest one is I found that the paint chips off very easily. This could be a self-inflicted pain kind of situation because I did lean this bike up against a granite, a rock slab that was really rough on the edges, so that just scraped the paint right off. Another thing is that this bike does not come with a kickstand, so you have to install that yourself, but it was pretty cheap and it was easy to install. They have mounting brackets already there, so. This bike can handle a lot. It's obviously best on pavement, but I've taken it on, a dirt path or on some hiking trails. It's not a mountain bike. It probably can't handle anything too rigorous, but it did just fine on off-road situations. So it does not have suspension like those shock thingies on mountain bikes. It is like a rigid fork, so it's gonna be a rough ride if you take it off-road, but it does the job. So far I've had this bike for around 6 months and I've ridden it about 650 miles. And the one problem that I ran into from the start was this back I don't know what to call it because I'm not technical with bikes. I think it's like a rear hub, something like that. From the day I got it, it was making like some weird thumping noise every time I was pedaling. I thought it would like go away or something, so I had to go to a local bike shop and they replaced this rear something, whatever this is, free hub, I don't know. It was like a knocking sound. I think it had to do with like a bearing. They replaced that and now it's gone. So that's the only real problem I've run into. Other than that, this bike has held up very well. In general, I've been really happy with this bike. It's a huge upgrade from my last one, and yeah, I would definitely recommend this. So in case you were wondering, this is a small bike, as I mentioned. I'm 5'4". It works just fine for me. I think my height is borderline needing small or medium, but they only had small when I was looking for this bike, so this is what I'm stuck with. But I am happy with it. In terms of the weight, I believe this bike is about 28 pounds, so it's not the lightest bike out there. It's definitely not one of those expensive bikes that's made completely out of carbon fiber or whatever. But for me, I have noodle arms, so I have like no muscle, but I've been able to lift this bike up, no problem, to get it in the car or into the back of a truck or whatever. So that hasn't been a problem. But in general, I've been really happy with this bike. For me, it's a great place to get started with road biking, or even if you just need something to commute on. This bike is super fun to ride, you know, because you can take it on the roads or off-road too. Like it's just all around very balanced bike, I feel. Would I buy it again? Definitely. I did have that one problem with the rear hub, but I don't think that's a very common problem. So if you're in the market for a hybrid bike or you're just looking to get started with biking, this is a great investment. I fully endorse. Go Trek. If you have any more questions for me or about this bike, I can try to answer. You just leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful.